Okay, everyone, this is really an IM1 lesson, but IM2, listen up, because we can't take this for granted. Let's make sure we can graph linear functions. Bottom line, I hope you at least take a quick glance. This should be a fairly short video. Let's get going. So how do you graph a line again? Notice I gave you a function, guys, that's in standard form for a line. We like it to be y equals mx plus b, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take 9x minus 2y equals 8, and we're going to solve it for y and make it y equals mx plus b. Now this one has a few little twists to it. So first thing, notice I have a 9x here, guys. And if I minus 9x both sides, I get rid of my 9x, right? Remember, I'm solving for y, so notice that right there left over after the positive 9x is gone is a negative 2y, right? Don't forget the negative is there. That equals, of course, 8 minus 9x. Now, you could flip these around if you like your x front, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, is it? Anyway, so we have 8 minus 9x. What's a big deal, guys? Let's not do 8 minus 9 and make it negative 1, because this 8 is a regular constant 8. The negative 9 with the x is a coefficient. Totally different numbers. Okay, finishing up. How do I solve for y if there's a negative 2 in front of it? Well, I'm going to simply divide by negative 2. And there's something called a distributive property I hope you're familiar with. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So let's see what happens now. Negative is positive. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I'm left with y equals 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. And negative 9 divided by negative 2 is positive 9 halves x. And hopefully you remember by now that in algebra, guys, we actually like improper fractions. Okay? So we like 9 halves. We don't want to change it to 4.5 or 4.5. Okay? We're ready to graph. Does everyone agree that the negative 4, the number by itself, is my b, my y-intercept? So I'm just going to start way down there at negative 4 for b. The 9 halves is my m. Whatever the number is in front of the x is m, the slope. And to graph a slope, we simply just follow rise over run. So if m is 9 halves, I'm going to start at negative 4, guys. And I'm just going to count up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces. And then we're just going to go over 1, 2 spaces. And so our next point on the line is right there. Again, I went up 9, I went over 2, because that's what a 9 half slope means. And now it's just a matter of connecting my line, my dots, and making a line. And that, guys, is how you graph a line. So pause the video if you need to. Let's do one more, hopefully a little bit faster. Again, man, that's not in standard. That's in standard form, not y equals mx plus b. So we're going to take 5x plus 2y equals 10. First thing I'm going to do is minus 5x both sides. Minus 5x. With the 5x gone, 2y equals 10 minus 5x. Don't do 10 minus 5, guys, because the 10 again is a constant. The negative 5 in front of the x is part of my slope. It's actually the coefficient of x. Totally different numbers. Now what? I simply divide by 2. I'm using distributive property. I'm dividing by 2. Let's see what happens. 2 divided by 2 is 1y. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Minus 5 divided by 2 is simply negative 5 halves x. And I'm ready to graph. The 5 there, guys, is called my b. So I'm going to come up here and put a dot at positive 5. The negative 5 halves, guys, is my m. That's my slope. The number in front of x is always your slope. And what does a negative 5 halves slope mean? That means, watch this, guys, I'm going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because a negative means down. Then from there, I'm going to go over 2 spaces. So my next point on the line is right there. Again, I went down 5 because of negative 5. Negative 5 means down 5. And then, of course, I went over 2. And negative 5 over 2 is the slope. And so all I need to do is connect my points. And I have my line, right? And so, guys, I hope all of you can graph lines very well like I can. It's going to come in handy over and over again throughout your math career. Until next time, bye.